Hi, now we'll look at chapter 4, Telecommunicating with Verbs. This chapter specifically looks at verbs. Okay, so here we go. This is chapter 4 of Business English, Writing in the Workplace. So, verbs have tenses. So the verb tense, as we saw that also in verb and noun agreement. So verb tense refers to time, all the time. That's funny. In a sentence, the verb indicates when the action occurs. So simple present tense is now, today, as it is, the present verb. Here's an example, invite. Past, it's usually with a D at the end or an ED, like invited. Most regular verbs have this at the end. And future, we usually add will. Will, invite, most regular verbs have will in front. All right? So perfect tense is formed by using the past participle of a verb, add T or ED to the regular verb, plus has, have, had, or will have. Yes, this is quite a bit of information. Example, has, have, asked, had asked, and will have asked. This is the perfect tense when we use has, have, had, and will have. Okay, so yes, it is a little bit complicated, but that's why you do the exercises in so to practice to know exactly what is the perfect tense. So note, some verbs are irregular and the past participle has a chosen or a different form, choose, chose, and chosen for the future. So like I said, most verbs are regular, but there are irregular verbs, just like to choose. Right? So again, a lot of information. You will need to certainly do the exercises and activities for you to have a better understanding of what these verbs are all about. So here we go with rule 4.4. Present perfect. Action that was started in the past but was completed before the present. All right? So it was completed just before now, let's say, like even 5 minutes ago or an hour ago, right? So just before the present. The present is always right now. Okay, so here is an example. The utility company has installed fiber optic wiring in the building 5 minutes ago, let's say, right? You could say that. Or yesterday. You could add that to it and it will still be good because it was just before the present. Here's another example. Purchases of cell phones have increased during the past year, right? And another one, the customer, this is the chosen, we were talking about the irregular verb. The customer has chosen the notebook computer model. So this is a perfect tense. Again, perfect tense, action that was started in the past and was completed before the present. This is why we use has installed, have increased, or has chosen. This is present perfect. Rule 4.5, past perfect. Action began in the past and was completed before another time in the past. What that means is that it consists of the verb had plus the past participle. So again, I repeat, past perfect, action began in the past and was completed before another time in the past. Right? It consists of the verb had again plus the past participle. And here we go. She had renewed. Here we go. Renewed is past. The difference between present and past perfect is that the verb is in the past. She had renewed the cell phone contract before the special offer. Another one, the employee had inspected the equipment before it was shipped to the customer. So renewed and inspected carry EDs, which tells you that the verb is in the past. So we have looked at present perfect, past perfect. Let's look at, yes, you guessed it, future perfect. So future perfect, action will be completed at a certain time in the future. It consists of the verb shall, will, have. and the past participle, shall or will and have. All right, so here we go. We will have filled the orders by December 15th. So this is in the future, and this is considered to be future perfect, right? The manager will have reviewed the job specifications before the monthly meeting. I mumbled that one. I'll repeat that. The manager will have reviewed the job specifications before the monthly meeting. Okay, so that is that. Future perfect. Here are some examples, and again the key is at the bottom. And the following sentences change each italicized verb to the tense indicated in parentheses. So if you look at the first one, it's asking you in parentheses to change it to present perfect. During the last year, sales of digital cameras have increased greatly, right? Have increased greatly. So during the past year, sales of digital cameras have increased greatly. Have is in the present tense. By next spring, the firm's board of directors, it's asking for future perfect. By next spring, the firm's board of directors, right, will have appointed a new president. Like I said, there are not many rules in this chapter, and the reason being is that they're a little bit more difficult to acknowledge and to understand. So you will need to do the exercise to understand this better. You could ask certain questions, absolutely, and I'll do my best to answer them, but there's nothing that's going to change. The rules are the rules. So if you really want to know more about the perfect tense of the three present, past, and future, you will need to do the exercises. Certain pointers of letter of complaint, right? And if you have a letter of complaint, usually it's a negative letter, right? But if you have to send a letter of complaint, you need to avoid starting letter in a negative tone. Acknowledge past service or good product. State problem clearly. Again, you always have to stay positive, even if you are living a rough situation when writing a letter of complaint. Avoid offensive words. Offer suggestions for resolving problem, and request action in a positive tone. So even if you have, again, a situation where it's against you, a negative situation, you should need to stay positive when you write a letter of complaint. Certain writing pointers, positive opening with a letter of apology. Again, it's the same thing. We do have certain rules that you have to follow when you have letters of complaint or letters of apology. But the main thing that you have to grasp from all of this is the fact that you need to stay positive. All right, so it's a very short and sweet chapter, but like I said, the main three rules in this chapter are very important and a little bit more harder to grasp. So you will certainly need to practice by doing the activities that I have assigned in your documents. All right, so thank you.